Good morning. It's Monday, July 21st, and I'm very happy this morning to announce that the U.S. has passed a huge funding bill for money to give to Israel. And this bill is in the hundreds of millions of dollars. $830 billion of defense appropriations, with hundreds of millions of dollars for Israeli missile defense. And this was passed along party lines with 216 Republicans and 5 Democrats voting for it. And I'm ashamed of those who voted against this. This bill includes $500 million for Israeli cooperative programs. This is divided between Israel's various tiers of missile defense, including Iron Dome for intercepting short-range rocket and mortar attacks, and Arrow for ballistic missiles. AIPAC stated that the joint U.S. and Israeli missile defense cooperation saves countless lives and enhances U.S. capabilities. Arrow, David's sling, and Iron Dome were essential for Israel to defend itself during the Iranian regime. Israel is on the front lines of the fight against our common enemies. That is what AIPAC stated. This vote sends a strong message that America stands for our ally and rejects extremist efforts to undermine our strategic interests in the region. And Representative Josh Gottheimer of New Jersey stated that his bipartisan amendment to boost cooperation between the United States and our ally Israel in developing technology to counter killer drones as part of this bill. And last month, Israel faced more than 1,000 killer drones launched by Iran. The same drones that had been launched at American troops in the region. Iran is the parent company of terror, and Iranian-backed terror groups continue to target innocent American and Israeli civilians, which is why we, the United States, must take a concrete action to counter their deadly drone capability. Marjorie Taylor Greene of Georgia introduced a slew of amendments on Thursday to strip out funding for foreign militaries, including Israel and Jordan, and to bar any funds from being sent to Ukraine. This is a woman that doesn't deserve to be in Congress. I'm not against people who think of a certain way to live our lives that are different than some majorities. But she's totally off the wall. And tonight, all of my amendments to cut $1.6 billion out of our defense budget failed, because both Republicans and Democrats refuse to stop spending our hard-earned tax dollars to foreign countries. That's what Greene wrote. But would we be considered a great nation if we kept all our money in our pockets? No. Our stand as a united nation is to defend our ideas of civility and democracy. And that's what we spend our money on. We are not prepared to be an isolationist civilization. The United States has grown strong in the world view because of our generosity. Sometimes we overdo it, but that's to be expected when you're trying to do great things, which in my opinion is what this bill is about. We are $37 trillion in debt, and Congress will never fix that, and that is a problem. This spending makes American lives unaffordable. That's what she said. And she's partially right about that. We have to figure out a way to cut back, but we cannot allow the world to be wrecked because we have a monetary problem. There has to be a way to do both things. And maybe the way is to look carefully at what we're spending money on. Because I am sure we're spending money on a lot of foolish things besides the defense of Israel and other democratic countries that need our aid. And pro-Israel groups welcomed the defeat of Green's amendment about Israel on Friday. The senior director of Christians United for Israel Action Fund stated that Green's effort is nothing more than attention-seeking behavior from a fringe bigot whose hatred for Israel and the Jewish people trumps everything else he thinks about. Now, that's his opinion. I don't necessarily agree with that. But she certainly is not a friend of Israel. And that would make her not a friend of Jews. And I won't declare her as an anti-Semite yet. And she is certainly not representing her Christian Zionist constituent. And she's not representing President Trump or the American people with these desperate acts. The bottom line is that Representative Green's efforts, like so much of her congressional career, have failed fantastically. And I cannot imagine why she continued to be elected. So I think that's enough for today. I don't want to carry on about Taylor Green or other things like that. We did a great job. We put together a budget that's going to help Israel, and that in my mind is the most important thing. So have a great day. Take care. Be healthy. Enjoy. Thank you.